boys and girls. We are live on what is an 11-game slate. And boy, oh boy, if you thought pitching was rough last night, it looks like a great night after what we got going here today.
Yeah, it's one of the worst pitching slates we've had in a while.
I might argue this could be the worst pitching main slate of the year so far.
Yep.
For this big a slate, right? For a 10, 11, 12 game plus slate, this might be like the worst pitching slate. Like before the show, I looked at Spinny and I said, can I just play 10 position players today? Right? Like I'd just rather play 10 position players. Like, we saw what happened last night. And we're in that spot again. For me, we were talking about this a little bit, and this is me, if I was still playing GPP, like I would set my exposure at 22 to 25% on any pitcher and just try to hope you get the right combo in a lineup, with this kind of thing, right? Get your pool, figure it out, and go from there.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm going to do. Right now I have them all capped at 30%, but I might come down even more. It just depends how I end up building.
Yeah, it's just such a weird slate, right? Like, Robbie Ray at $8,600 with the Braves K rate lately. He's going to be, I think his ownership's going to go up as we get a little bit closer. Just because they're going to have probably the highest K rate on the slate the last couple weeks. So I think it's there. Hey, my real hope is, so I'm going to have Ray in the mix. My hope is Cy Blanco shows up tonight versus the Rays, and we get, early season Blanco, right? Get me 8 Ks. It just sucks he's $9,300.
Yeah, I have some Blanco as well. It's just you're just hoping for K upside. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, so on that, with the little more expensive pitchers, where you at with Berrios today? Because Berrios has been very yo-yo for me this year.
Yeah, it's hard to trust him. I have about 9% of him right now. I think he's fine, but not really anyone I'm prioritizing.
Yeah, so my other side of the slot is I really like Grant Holmes. I'm a Grant Holmes fan. I think kid's got a ton of upside. He's only $7,600. He's less than 20%. So I don't mind going there. My issue with Wu is, Detroit is a K-in. So they've got their K rate down. Alex Cobb against the Cubs, no thanks. I get he's only $6,900. If I'm punting, I don't hate Bueller at 8,300, but again, he's going to be limited on his pitch count. I'm not really trying to mess with their, if I wanted to punt, really punt, I'm probably going to go all the way down to Bo Brisky, right? And just throw him against Seattle on that K rate. And for me, I think there's probably a little bit of value in there. And then the interesting spot to me that's getting some ownership is DJ Hers versus the O's. I can't believe he's almost 10%.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Yeah, that's wild, right? It's the O's. So that's weird. And then, if you want to get funky as we look, let's go look at some stack projection here. I haven't looked at it recently since this morning, to be honest. Stack projection. Yeah, so looking at ownership, it's really spread out on the main slate, short of, we know the Yankees are going to be chalk, right? Maybe some people don't go to Soto because he hit 3 jacks last night. So, looking at that, yeah, I don't know. I hate the pitching. I just hate it. It's, pick and pray tonight. Pick and pray, baby.
Yeah, I kind of I have a lot of Edward Cabrera, not really because I trust him, but just because of his K upside, and he's 6,000, so he's really cheap.
Yeah, that's right. I don't hate that side of it. They're Philly's middle of the road on the K's. I just don't have, I don't have the guts to I don't hate Tyler Phillips. I just don't trust him enough yet, right? Like his projection's great. And he's like, I'll tell you, for our listeners, he's probably going to be my Ryan Nelson tonight, right? Like I'm just going to trust the projection, put him in. He's 10%, he's 8K, right? Have him in at least my 3 max pool. And then I pull from my 3 max pool for my single entry and go from there.
Yeah, I wish that game was in Miami. I think it even build the case even more.
For sure. So that's kind of where I'm at with pitching. Gross. It's just gross. Like I just don't even like looking at it. Like I'm watching it just like it's there, right? And it's the same thing as last night, right? Like, you had the early, the 3-game early slate today, a couple decent pitchers on that one at least. So I'm really mad that Detroit won 15-1 last night. Skubal was on cruise control. Yeah. He had 9 Ks and they just yanked him because they're up 15-1. Why leave him in, right? Like he was on autopilot to take down daily K leaders. So a little annoyed with that one yesterday. All right. Well, let's see what we got lineup wise. I haven't checked lineup in a few minutes. So let's go see what we got, boys and girls. I like the total in the Washington O's game. I also like, the lefty bats against Kramer, right? Like Dean's so bad against lefties, guys. So, Abrams, Wood, some Garcia, right? Like, and they're cheap, Abrams is down to $5,600. I say cheap, but I still think he's not there. Hard not to like the O's just because it's there. They'll be in my pool, but I'm not like, I don't look at the O's tonight and think, oh, I have to have all the O's.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I think they look good, especially if Hurst gets any more ownership, but Slater leading off at 2,200 is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, and same, you can work them in with Kobe and Jackson, right? Jackson's still only 3,500 now that he's warmed up. Kobe's going to get it something. That kid can rip. So, like, right, you can work it in. I mean, Baltimore's got the magic dust, right? I mean, they got Eloy hitting for crying out loud. So, Cubs guards, I'm indifferent there. Like, the Cubs have definitely heated up. And Talion is just, he's really bad against lefties. So if you're going to run some Guardians, run their lefty bats. I don't hate Brennan at second, at batting second, at $2,800. That's a nice spot to save some salary.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of interest. J-Ram and Brennan are my highest exposed for the Guardians.
All right. Mariners, Tigers. There's only an 8 total in that game, so I don't love that as much. Kerry came back, crushed yesterday. Again, if I go there, for me personally, I'll probably go Brisky, and just with that K upside, because that Seattle lineup's terrible at strikeouts.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of interest in this game. I like Cal as a one-off if you want to do anything.
Yeah, I'm shocked at the Reds ownership right now. I hope it stays this low, right? We got them at home. There, it's something I like taking advantage of. Gibson's been really bad versus lefties. So, I like the lefty bats there tonight. And, the total's 9.5. They're in the small park. And that I'm going to have exposure to the Reds.
Yeah, I like the Reds. I think they look good, especially at their ownership. I'm double the field on Ellie. I like Candy, Friedel, pretty much all the lefties. They all look good.
Yeah, give me all the lefties in there. I even, right, Benson's only $3,300. You can work him in. So I like that side of it. Marlins, Phillies, we talked about it. I think the upside in this game is maybe go a little pitching and see if you can get some luck there. So that's kind of my thoughts with that game tonight.
Yeah, I feel the same way. The Marlins have some cheap pieces I don't hate. Mini stacks.
Yeah, right. Like Berger's dirt cheap. Sanchez is dirt cheap. I mean, they brought Birdie up. Stowers couldn't hit with a freaking cricket ball paddle, but he's only $2,500. Yep. So, and then, back to the Astros Rays, that total in that game, 7.5. It's another reason I like Blanco. Bregman finally showed up 2/3 of the season in. So thanks, Bregman, for showing up. I have some best ball exposure I'm thankful. So, but I'm going to go Blanco in that game with that total.
Yeah, me too. I have some Bregman exposure as well, and he's getting hot at the right time, but I like him and Jordan. That's pretty much it. I don't really love full stacks from this game. Brandon Lowe's looks good too.
Yeah, me neither. Don't as far as full stacks goes. I'm not really going to have anything to do with the A's or Mets again. You can always use some of the A's bats to fill in. They're homer dependent, but when you get them right, they pay off nicely.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I have Langoliers and JJ Bleday, and that's pretty much it from the A's.
Oh. The Sox get Davis Martin, who has not been good this year. The Yankees do versus the Sox is David Martin. Sorry about that. Just go look at their projections. I thought they'd be higher owned. I get right. Soto, how can you fit him in? You got to get cheap at some other spots. And I like Ben Rice tonight. The kid crushes righties. He can't hit a lefty. He's kind of like Ellie, the opposite, right? Where he can hit them right-hand pitchers, but he can't hit left-handed pitching.
Yeah. It's hard to get away from the Yankees on this slate. They pretty much they project way better than anyone else. So I think they look pretty good.
Yeah. It's just, I don't see how I'm not there. They're for sure my 3 max and try to fit what I can in for there. The Dodgers, interesting, right? This has been a unique series. Like the Brewers didn't get it done against Stone last night, which was kind of amazing. Walker didn't look right when he first got back. So then they shut him down for a bit. And now we're here. So, what do you think of this game tonight?
I'm not really getting to any Brewers. I don't mind them, but they're just kind of priced up. The Dodgers, I like Ohtani and Freddie and Mookie, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. If you want to run a bat off of them is to run Jake Bauers. So, right, his barrel rate against right-handed pitching, like something you can take advantage of. So, like, if you're going to go there, that's the spot for me. On the other side of it, Mr. Montez, dude gives up a ton of hard hit balls, ton of line drives to lefties. So, Shohei's just always in play, right? Like the crazy stat to me, I said this other night in Discord, the fact that Shohei has 33 stolen bases this year too is it's lunacy. Like he's going to get the Bonds treatment if they can get going in the playoffs. They're just not going to pitch to him. Why would you pitch to him? I wouldn't give him anything to hit.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Shohei crushes everything that's getting thrown. If you're going to go there, I don't hate some Frankie. Kind of easy spot for me there. Blue Jays, Angels, Vlad Jr. continues to stay hot. Tyler Anderson has been really bad. So I don't hate trying to get there. But the Jays are, priced okay. I got to dig a little closer. I didn't quite get finished up with this game before the show.
Yeah, I kind of like some of their cheaper bats, like Ernie Clement. If he's towards the top of the lineup, he fields shortstop position, looks good. And Baroa is almost min price. Even as a 9-hole, I still like getting there.
Yeah, I'll be curious. Same if they have Leo in tonight, if Jimenez is in, right? You can fill him in at short at, he might get pinch hit for, but it's $2,300. Yeah. And then Barrios, we know he hasn't been great against lefties. We'll probably see see Willie, see Mickey, see some of those, left-handed bats for the Angels tonight.
Yeah, I don't mind them. They're not really a priority for me, but I'm using them to fill in.
I'm going to go back to pitching in the Braves Giants again, total 7.5 like we've had here. Holmes, Ray, and I like the home side better tonight, especially at $7,600. What you doing with that game?
I like some of the Braves, not really as full stacks, but I kind of like getting to Riley and Soler, even though they're priced up, but I like them today.
All right. And then let's see if we got an update. Yeah, I mean, right. The Reds are still pretty low owned. The Sox have an interesting projection today against Warren. I'll be interested to see if their ownership starts going up.
Do you like the Cardinals at all?
I always like the Cards, but I never get them right. Like,
yeah,
right? Like, I just can't. Like, I just can't figure them out, man. Like, you guys, again, they get Pagan in a great park. The dude can't pitch to lefties. Like, he walks a ton of people. And, I like, Mason Wynn, Burleson. Like, I like the top half of that lineup, right? Heck, even Newt-Bar, it's seventh at $3,400. But, like, that top half of that lineup, I like. GPP, I would definitely be a little overweight to the field on them. I'd get them in 20 max and up. I don't think they'll make my 3 max. That again, it's a small park though, right? Like they can turn it on. Like that's that ability is definitely there. Let me look. I hadn't got to that pin yet for man, and their Cards pin super fresh. Wow. Yeah. So we're not going to see Diaz tonight. Diaz 32 pitches in the last 3 days, yesterday and the day before. So Tunis, maybe they throw again today. Threw a bunch of pitches before, so their pins got used a little bit. So again, I like the Reds. The Cards pin super fresh though, so they'll have a ton of options there. Cards can kind of do what they want from a pen standpoint today. So I'd have some exposure there in the field. Let me go back to projections. Again, Phillies, that XHR rate, they might have the highest on the slate. I think they do, though, right? Fill in with the A's, they're tied for the highest home run projection on the slate, right? They're home run dependent. The Yankees are there. I'm kind of shocked a little bit at the Yankees projection right now. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. Let me look.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Well, I like it.
Earlier.
Yeah, they come down. They come down a little bit. So interesting. All right. Well, we'll talk a little bit about more in Discord. Again, weird slate tonight. It's just the pitching, man. The pitching is so bad. Like
it's horrible.
Like again, I'm kind of a Grant Holmes. Like I'm for sure on Grant Holmes tonight. I really, if you look at the splits, like I like his matchup versus them. That K upside, they've just striking out so much. They only have one guy projected to play tonight. It's Lamont Wade below 20% K rate, and he's at 19.6. So a ton of swinging strike rates. That's that bodes well for Grant, especially with some of his pitches. So, guy throws a fastball and a ton of curves. So then he mixes a little cutter, a little slider, but fastball, curveball kid. So that's the spot. I like Grant tonight.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. All right, boys and girls. Well, who you got? Who's your moonshot tonight?
I'm going to go with the Candyman, Heimer Candelario.
All right, I like it. Guys, to give you an idea what the markets think of Shohei today, he's plus 165 to hit a home run. Only Judge is better at plus 150 at DK. That's kind of wild. So I'm going to go early. So this is value for you guys. I'm going CJ Abrams. You get him over like for plus 550, plus 560. I think that's pretty mispriced for him today.
Yeah, I like
especially
that.
In this matchup, like if as you start looking at stuff, guys, right? Like take advantage of the data on the site, right? Go look at barrels, right? Like, and you can, that stuff really helps, right? Like now Mike bakes it in the projections, which I love, but you can go look at what Kramer throws, right? So Abrams and I'll probably have a Wood bet. I think there's a very good chance Wood just crushes him tonight. So it hits one pretty far. Is he on the? Yep, he is. Oh yeah, plus 675 at MGM. Sign me up. I'm all over Wood for that. So cool. All right, boys and girls. Well, let's go have fun and good luck on your pitching. Later.